King Louis XVI enters and clears his throat.
I have called you all here today to discuss the current financial crisis of our kingdom. As I'm sure all of you have known already, France is drowning in debt. I need your counsel on what we should do.
Your Majesty, the Church has always helped the Crown. We need to pray for France.
The noble representative laughs in a softly way.
I just think the burden should not be on God's chosen people.
Your Majesty, the nobility is always doing anything. It's time for the commoners to pay their dues. We must not change the natural order.
The natural order? For the longest time, the people of France have been starving in debt while you live your happy little life. You know nothing about the natural order.
The crowd of third state delegates murmurs in agreement.
But tradition must be kept. The states will vote as always.
Third state representative was getting frustrated and mad.
One vote per state? That is not representation. It is tyranny! If you will not listen to the people, we will do it ourselves.
The third state members stand, leaving the hall as the nobility and clergy see what's going on in shock.
The assembly hall has denied us entry, but they cannot deny us the right to represent the people.
The king and court always silence us, but we're not going to separate. We must remain together.
We can live without securing all rights. Then let's swear it. We will fulfill our desires and will not separate until
We swear it!
This is it. The Bastille holds weapons and prisoners of the king. We must crush them.
And maybe grab a snack while we're at it. I haven't eaten all day.
Are you sure you want to do this? Maybe we can just talk.
Open the James Jacks.
My boss will be really mad.
Oh, really? You think the angry crowd with weapons and torches will be any less mad?
You make a good point.
That was surprisingly easy.
Either we're great revolutionaries or that guard is really bad at his job.
I was hurt for my mustache, not my bravery. I'm a coward.
Are free and equal before the law. Yes, no more kings telling us what to do.
And I'm not paying no more unfair taxes to the poor while the rich pay nothing.
Yeah, from now on, everyone will pay their fair share.
What? Taxes for me? But I'm fancy.
Oh no, what will you do without your fifth golden carriage?
Maybe try paying your fair share. And no fainting in protest of fairness.
Enough is enough. We cannot feed our children while the king feasts in Versailles.
I have nothing left to sell. The grain is too expensive.
My son hasn't eaten in 2 days. The king sits in his palace eating old plates while we starve in the streets.
Then let's take our demands to the king himself, to Versailles.
The king will listen to us. We will not be ignored any longer.
Woman of Paris, this is dangerous. Return home.
Dangerous? What's dangerous if their children starving? Will you fight against us or march with us?
The crowd reaches the golden gates of the palace. The guards try to hold them back, but the woman pushed forward.
Open the gate!
Shelly will go home.
But people will always complain.
The crowd finally forces King Louis XVI to meet them. They demand he comes back to Paris. Louis reigned outdo firmly.
Come back to Paris! We have marched 6 hours all night. We will not return to Paris until you ensure food for all your people.
The king looks at the angry faces before him. He hesitates, then finally... We'll go to Paris. The royal family leaves Versailles in a carriage, surrounded by thousands of people. It is a victory for the revolution.
This is just the beginning.
The Women's March on Versailles was a turning point on the French Revolution. It marked the end of the king's independence and the beginning of the people's power.
After the royal family's fruitless attempt to flee to Montmédy under the disguise of commoners, they were captured and arrested Varnes and Argonne, and later tried for treason by the National Convention. The trial lasted from December 11, 1792 to January 17, 1793. He was charged with 33 counts of treason, sabotage, and failure of leadership. On January 15th, he was found guilty of conspiring with foreign powers and then was sentenced to death via guillotine. Parisians gathered at the Place de la Révolution to watch the live execution of King Louis XVI. Large crowds form around the execution stand as they watch King Louis XVI be escorted by two men in uniform.
My people, I die innocent of the crimes laid before my charge. I pardon my enemies, and I pray to God that the blood that will be shed may not ever be visited on France. I hope that my blood will cement the fortune of the French people.
His wife, Marie Antoinette, being found guilty of treason and conspiracy with foreign powers against France, soon followed the same fate of her late husband, just 9 months after Louis the Last.
Pardon, my sir. I didn't do it on purpose.
The Grand Cathedral is adorned with golden tapestries, towering candles, and rich red drapery. At the altar, Pope Pius VII waits solemnly, dressed in his finest papal robes. His expression is calm but uncertain. Before him, a golden crown rests upon a velvet cushion. From the grand entrance, Napoleon Bonaparte strides forward, his military posture unwavering, as he wears an opulent imperial robe of crimson velvet, embroidered in gold trailing behind him. His gaze is fixed ahead, sharp and resolute. Behind him, Josephine follows, her gown flowing elegantly, her face composed but anxious. Napoleon ascends the steps of the altar. He pauses, taking in the sight of the crown before him. The weight of history presses upon the room. The audience holds its breath. Napoleon lifts the crown upon himself, the Pope watching, hands still, as the young conqueror places the golden circlet upon his head. A murmur spreads through the cathedral. This is not a king appointed by the church. This is a ruler who crowns himself. A brief silence, then a ripple of applause. Napoleon turns, picking up a second smaller crowd. He steps toward Josephine, who lowers her head with steady hands. With steady hands, he places her crown upon her, declaring her the Empress of the French. Napoleon turns to face the crowd, now seated upon his golden throne.
I'm here in France once again. You do not have the right to arrest me. I'm your emperor. Fight with me to conquer Britain. I'm here to defeat my mortal enemy, Great Britain. Are you ready, soldiers?
Let's do this for France! Let's go! Let's do this for France, people! Boom. Yes!
Today is the day we end the reign of terror, Napoleon. Your reign over Europe and your tyranny over our countries.
Je voudrais du soleil vert, des dentelles et des théières, des photos de bord de mer dans mon jardin d'hiver.